Good afternoon, folks. It is V. It is the Cowboy. We are here, Algo Factory Tech, free live. That's what we're doing right here on YouTube. So if you've thought about joining us, look, don't waste your time. Don't think. There is no think. There's only do, as the great Yoda says. Actually, Yoda says, "Don't." There's no try. There's only do. You've been checking out what we've been doing here. Look, here's the thing. We're not like vanilla ice cream. You try out vanilla ice cream. You try out Rocky Road, but you got to do AlgoFactory.tech. You got to do it. Join up right now. The price is less than a month's supply of Frappuccino, Luppuccino, Quacpuccino at your local Starbucks. Instead of wasting your money, learn how to make money right here, AlgoFactory.tech. The link will be on the screen with a QR code or in the description box. With that being said, Cowboy, good morning.
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. I was telling you, I was having a good Juneteenth. I had my hair was braided. I had some chicken and waffles, some purple drink. It was good, man.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it
just
was legit.
got up. It's a new holiday, so I didn't realize it was federal, and I
Well,
got the show ready. I got
Cowboy,
up early. I was gonna work,
Cowboy.
but
Yes,
the trash people around here are racist. Did I tell you that?
yeah, they are racist. I'm sure they are.
Well, it's because they came and picked up the trash yesterday.
They did.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Now there's
Oh,
the links on the screen though. The RF code is on the screen there. Let me also drop the link in the chat. And then I will, real quick, I'm going to send the link out to a few people here. And all right, but yeah, it was a good 3-day weekend. I did kind of have my eye on some Bitcoin scalps over the weekend, but I didn't, it just, there wasn't enough volume. I had a decent algo ping trade, but there was zero follow through. I could have exited at better than 1-to-1 risk to reward ratio over the weekend. And it's just, I think it's because of the 3-day weekend, there just wasn't enough volume to push price past any kind of barriers. And that's one thing about, weekend scalping. Just got to understand that is the risk that you take. And that's why I did a very small trade over the weekend. So, that's the thing about Bitcoin is that, Bitcoin and other cryptos, there's no market close and you can trade them anytime. However, markets do have high volatility and low volatility times. So, and something actually for a lot of beginners to understand where these beginners, and it's great. It's the best time to trade is to be a beginner, right? And that's because you kind of have the bug. You're starting to get into it. It's a dangerous time to trade because your trading psychology isn't in place.
yeah.
So you might have a win or two, and then you think you don't ever have to work again because you won 3 times in a row. And then you start to bet bigger, and you win again, and you bet even bigger, and then you blow up your account, and you don't have any money left. So, trading as a beginner is fun and dangerous. So if you haven't come over to Algo Factory, there's the URL is written right there on the screen. And what you can do is come over to check us out, and we have some education. Of course, none of what we say is investment advice, but we do have some education that will kind of give you an idea of what at least we do to keep from losing all of our money, and in fact, how we actually make money. We help people build their own trading plan, otherwise known as an algorithm. And an algorithm is just simple. It doesn't mean that you have you paying some guy millions of dollars to create some magical code and he's got like a supercomputer, and it's not like that. It's actually you just build a trading plan, and it doesn't have to be auto coded. It doesn't have to be a bot necessarily, although most you know any trading algorithm can be coded into a trading bot. but in my opinion, it's always wise, at least from my own experience, to code it manually first, to just manually write and build your algorithm first. And then once you have it refined to a point where you know it's profitable, then go ahead and figure out how to have it coded, because there are translation issues, things like that. But we do have people in place who would be able to help you code that for way cheaper than you'd have to pay on market. Like, we got it all in house. So, and it's pretty exciting. We're gonna even expand what we're doing, even though we're already have like a complete platform. We're gonna add like more and more things to it. So anybody who gets in at the current price, the promotional $49.99 a month, will be able to keep that rate as long as they don't let their membership lapse, because that price is probably going to go up, and probably not a little bit. For what we offer, the next closest platform is charging about 6 times that offers anywhere near what we offer. So this is incredibly cheap. I mean, I'm just letting you know, this is going to catch fire. People are going to really like it, and then the price will go up simply because we have to keep our doors open. So anybody gets in now gets grandfathered in for this tier of service. Okay.
The cool thing is this, we're the only ones in the game that literally does the in-house coding. Like, once you learn the algorithm, once you learn the setups, once you learn, okay, your algorithm is as unique to you as your fingerprint. That's why Cowboy always says, don't copy what I'm doing, because the algorithm is literally a reflective mirror of your trading style. So once you have it all perfected, back tested, we're the only ones in the game that has somebody that can hard code that into you, right into your trading view, and have that execute and work for you. So the complete message of freedom and flexibility that we bring to the game, it's unmatched.
Unmatched. You said it. Unmatched. So yeah, it's pretty cool. And then, once you get to that point, I mean, there are those who actually prefer to trade manually. They don't even like to do the hard code. They'd rather simply do it old school. And there are advantages to that, because, building an algorithm, for the most part, you kind of have to fit your trading method into a kind of a box. If you take my meaning, it's like, how do I say this? So it's like a translation, right, into code. So you're the way that you did things before is very different. Not very different, but there's a slight difference, and there's a skill to that. So coding your trading method into an algorithm can there. How do I put this? It really helps to know your algo in and out, like the back of your hand, before you try to code it, right? So that's all I'm trying to say. By the time you get to the point where you're hard coding it, then you at least, it's like trying to learn Spanish. If you don't have English very well understood, then your Spanish is going to suck. So if you spend time really learning English, then you will, you have a mastery and a grasp of English. Then the Spanish that you learn is going to be actually far more mastered than otherwise. And I know, because I speak both languages. And at one point, not so much anymore, but at one point I had Spanish. I mean, I took Spanish literature. I went pretty far in the Spanish game. So, and coding is no different. Building your algorithm, and the best way, if you ask me, and I've done this for years now, the best way to understand your algorithm is to code it yourself, to backtest it. And when I say code it, I mean that's the wrong term. To build it yourself, right? That's the best way to understand it, is to actually take the time, spend the time with it, build it out, backtest it. And the backtesting, manual backtesting, is actually, it's a neat thing. The charts kind of begin to talk to you after a while, because you're spending that kind of time with it. And it's the only way to understand the experience is to do it. It's really hard to even explain it. It doesn't take a huge lifestyle change. This can be done if you have like a full-time job. I actually designed this whole the Grill and I both have a lot, we both designed this so that people can do this while they have, say, like a full-time job. That way, if you're going to do this, you can spend, an hour a day or however long you have, maybe 2 hours if you're, what's that?
Or if you're a homemaker and you gotta all the hours you spend running a household, taking your kids here and there and everywhere, for you to queue in and spend time in a class like this is for you. Algo Factory's for you as well.
Oh yeah. So I've been in, I have actually worked with people who have built algorithms that are like homemakers, or they are, every walk of life. All you really have to do is be able to read a chart, and we teach the basics of that, as far as like what's a candlestick. I mean, we come in pretty, the information we provide is pretty basic, in that sense. So we're able to help with the fundamentals. Of course, some of the basics of reading a chart, you do have to have a certain level. I mean, like high school algebra would be enough for you to be able to read an XY Cartesian plane, which that sounds fancy. All it means is, to look at a chart and see if something's going up or going down. Like it's all pretty simple. So don't be like too terribly daunted, that kind of thing. We got some friends here talking to us. We got Valley Girl, aka VM, over on the YouTube and over in our private group over on Telegram. So what is up? Always glad to have you with us on these. Lion's Heart over on YouTube says, "Thank you guys. God bless. I need to hand out my damn medical bills." Well, this is one of those things where we give you a hand up instead of a handout. So, like, we're not just going to say, hey, copy my trade. And, if you do what I do, just like, that's not how we roll. What we do is we give you the tools to make yourself successful. And that's a very different thing. So, one thing to understand is that, this isn't a get rich quick. You got to have dedication for this. And so we have people that, I'm not sure. If there's people with good intention, they come in and then they realize, oh man, this is like, this is too much dedication for me. I can't do this. I get it. I learned how to trade while I had more than a full-time job. I actually was working a good 10 hours a day when I learned how to trade. And all I did was I just really wanted it. And that's the key. You just got to really want it.
Well, you got to look at it this way. Imagine you have an algorithm that's able to scalp just $100 a day, just $100, right? At the end of the year, that's $36K, right? So imagine going to your boss and saying, "Hey, I want a $36,000 raise." This is the bare minimum of what we're offering. It's pretty freaking awesome. Because you're able to, now you have the money, whether you want to take a vacation, whether you want to pay down your bills, whether you want to, put money away in real assets, which is what we always advocate. It's the way to do it. Go ahead, Gablet.
Oh yeah. And again, we don't give, we don't give investment advice, but
no.
We certainly, I take my money and put it into real assets. I eat my own cooking. I do, I take the actual trades. Like, here's the trade that I just took right now, as a matter of fact. Let me go ahead and bring it up on the screen. And this has happened on this show, especially, I think it's happened on the beginner show, but certainly on one of our shows. Like last week, I took 2 winning trades in one show. So people got to see me do it live. And here's a trade I just took right now. It's already in profit. I just took a quick short on the EURUSD. And so let me zoom in on the screen so people can see some more details. Right. Now this time frame might be a little there. I think it might look more like this. So I just took this trade. It's already pretty decently in a profit. It's a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio. And then what I might do is I might actually add on to this trade. So for the beginners out there, one of the things about Forex is that you can make money on the way up and down. And that happens in all markets. Stocks, you can short stocks. And so for a lot of beginners, like the idea of trading is like, okay, I buy something low and I sell it high, right? And that's great. I made a whole bunch of money doing that before I understood derivatives. And derivatives are something you want to take your time to understand. It's not something you want to jump into. Make sure you educate yourself. And again, what we say is investment advice. Please talk to a licensed investment advisor before risking your money on the market, because you can lose your money. It's inherently risky. And the rest of the disclaimer has to do with the fact that our opinion is ours alone and nobody else's. But the point here is that, like, in the old days with stocks, or even like when I first got into cryptocurrency, which we do trade cryptocurrency. In fact, primarily, I do cryptocurrency and Forex. That's what I do primarily. I also do small cap stocks. There's a few other things I do, but I'll draw out kind of what, the way it was for me in the beginning was crypto would be like going up, right? And then it would come down, and then I'm like, okay, I'm going to buy right here before it goes back up. And then it would go up. And I make good money doing that because crypto was in the bull market, right? But then crypto hit, and I had an algorithm built for that and everything. I was killing it out there, right? But the problem is that the market started to go down after the 2018 kind of peak. The market started to fall, and then 2019 hit, and the little moves up became smaller and smaller. So pretty much it all became moves down. And for somebody who's buying what's called spot, okay, spot is a term where you're just buying the actual item. You're buying the actual crypto. You can take it, you can put it in your wallet, or if you're playing stocks, you're buying stocks, like just the stock itself. You're not buying any kind of other contract with it. And so, if you're looking for price to go up, but price is doing nothing but going down, your opportunities just aren't there. So, that said, what I figured out was, okay, I can go into, say, crypto derivatives, or I learned, and I have a setup that allows me to trade that. There's certain jurisdictions where you might not be able to trade crypto derivatives, and you got to, look into that. If you live in a place that doesn't allow that, then, that's that you got to research that. But anyhow, so I went to, exchanges like KuCoin, or at the time Binance. And so I was able to short. And what that means is that I was able to, from a certain technical standpoint, I was able to sell on the way down. So as price made those little moves up, I was actually able to, why is this not going? Okay. I was able to sell the top without having to buy first. And then I would buy at the bottom. It's a way to make money on the way down. And Forex, that's just how Forex is designed. And that's what the trade is that I took today. So the trade that you're seeing is it's the euro versus the dollar, right? It's the euro, which is the European currency, in terms of the dollar. And the euro is about to drop a little bit, right? And so my algo actually made a ping. It was before this. I got in a tad bit late. I could have done better, but that's because, I was talking on the show here, and that's fine. This is still a viable trade for me. Obviously, it's pretty decently in a profit right now. And as price was heading down, I'm like, okay, I can sell this. And I was able to actually make money on the way down. And, Forex, cryptocurrencies, even stocks, pretty much every market has, that capability. So, and that's just something that, as you kind of grow in your trading and you learn about, say, Forex, and you start to do research on that, you learn how that works. So we got Lionheart with a comment here. Lionheart says he or she has been trading since COVID and had some good calls and bad. Was a mechanic by trade who didn't comply and got canned. Self-taught trader. Need more consistency. Yeah, Lionheart. If I was doing, I have a degree in economics, and, I've had experience in like insurance, things like that. So, but when I became a trader, I had been in construction for a number of years. I was actually a mechanic. I was an industrial natural gas compressor mechanic. So I'd work on these big, huge natural gas compressors that would be used at fill stations, stuff like that. Yeah, well, I guess reading a story as a mechanic, chances are you're going to be a male. But either way, I was turning wrenches myself at the time, right? And I was also doing construction. So, and I was full time. But obviously, at this point, you got canned because you were not compliant. I suppose I probably cannot ask you on YouTube what that's about because we might have a problem. But I think I know what happened there. So certainly, come check us out. And like I said, at $49.99 a month, that's nothing, man. I mean, if you're a trader and you want to up your game, come check us out. You know what I mean? And I'll throw the QR code on the screen one more time, just in case you want to use your phone. Grab that. And if you have any questions, also they're on the website. If you go to the website, there's a contact us, and you can ask us more about what we do over there. If you have any questions before you sign up. So, yeah. So let's see here. I guess we're getting pretty close to the end of the beginner session. So, does anybody have any questions they want answered? Beginner type questions like how does this work, or how does that work, or you want to see like a chart. If anybody has anything, in the meantime, I got some shout outs. I got my boy Cool Cat over in the private group along with Mavbet. So we got a few people filing in for the private show, and that private show we do every day, Monday to Friday, starts at 9 a.m. EST. Right. So we actually start a half hour before the market open, and then it goes through a half hour after the market open. And that's, that just gives people a chance to take a look at the charts as things are going down. So Gorilla, what do you got, bro?
No, that's it. Listen, don't think about this. At least just come on in, try us out for a month, and I guarantee you're going to be hooked. So come on over. Try it out for a month. You got 30 days. You got nothing to lose. You got $50. Put it on the line. You spend more on coffee and lunch. So come on over. We'll show you how to make some real money. With that being said, Cowboy, let's get into it, man. Let's go
hold on. We'll Lion's Heart. We got a couple minutes left, and Lion's Heart asked for a chart here. Let's see here.
Oh, yeah.
So you trade is that what you trade primarily, as small caps, Lion's Heart? Let's see. I would say DFL. I'm looking at it. I haven't brought it up on the screen just yet. Let me bring it up so you can see it. Okay, share screen. And when you see this, screen up here with all these different panels, like, I wouldn't freak out about that. That's just a lot of the stuff on here I don't even really use. It's just on there for testing purposes. So my algorithm is not as complex as what you're seeing. Okay. And then all those different panels, those are just different time frames. DLFI, whatever it's done doing for the moment. So I mean, look, you got to do your own research, make your own decisions. If you're asking me what I would do, I would definitely wait for price to head back down towards the, say that 260 kind of area, and maybe it'll pop up again. But I think you're looking for this kind of move, this say 260 up to 440 type move. I think that's the kind of move you're looking for. That's what most small cap traders want. And it could happen again, but I think it's going to be, let me see, what is this, 3 hour? It's going to be at least a few days, maybe even a few weeks before that happens, if it happens again. And it could, but I think the big move has already been made. And with small caps, that tends to be the way. Like, you have a big move, and then that's going to be it for a while. And at the moment, I just don't see that happening again right now. But let me see, this is the 18 hour. I think it's going to have to gather some steam. If it's going to move again, and that's a big if, I think you're going to see a consolidation that looks like along this path here. Where's my arrows? My path. Something like this. And the compression. And then maybe another move up. And that's a big maybe. That's all very dependent. But I do think what I just drew before the move up is very likely. So 2 weeks, yeah, I don't know. That kind of stuff with small caps. I don't look at, I think it's going to be 2 weeks. I don't think it's going to be 2 months. I don't look at it like that. I have an algorithm with small caps that it will alert me when the conditions are correct for what could be a big move. Okay. So that's how that works. And in Algo Factory, what we do is we take you through the basic process of building an algorithm such as I've built it, right? Now, again, I don't share my algorithm, but I share how I built it. I take you through this process of what I did, to bring the algorithm to a point where I can kind of set an alert. And then with small caps, I'd say 1 out of every 5 alerts maybe is a tradable thing. And then you have to look at the rest of the market. And, not 1 out of 5 alerts is necessarily going to produce a winner, but say 1 out of 5 alerts is one to look at. And then you have to sit down and look at it and, that kind of thing. So I haven't refined my small cap algorithm to the point where I'm like, oh, that's an alert, take the trade. It's not where I spend all my time. But if we see you in there, hopefully we do. And say, come check us out, even if it's just for a month. Just come check out the program. We put together a pretty good platform. So one last time, I'll throw the QR code up there, and anybody who's interested, just go ahead and take a picture of that and come on over and see us. We got to go over to the private group right now. So V, give us that gorilla send off.
And with that being said, folks, don't lollygag, as Joe Biden would say. There's no malarkey here.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
God save the queen, man.
God save the queen, and don't be a collapsed bridge. Join us over at algofactory.tech. With that being said, cowboy, let's get into it.
All right.